Very good. Welcome to the program. Now, the semi-final stage of the 2024 African Cup of Nations Championship is set for, that is Sudan will face Madagascar in the semi-finals. That's the first one of the tournament. That is tomorrow at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Tanzania. And then Morocco and Senegal will meet in the second semi-final late that night at the Mandela Stadium in Uganda. The winners of the two semi-finals will meet in the final at the Kasarani Stadium on Saturday. Okay, so we also have a moment to celebrate in the country, and while losers will face off a day before in the third playoff at the Mandela Stadium in Uganda. So we still have a lot of tournament happening across the East Africa community. But then now, gentlemen, we've seen a lot of action in the country, but I want us to bring the similarities and perhaps differences between politics and sports. Deputy Governor Mandera, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa.
Asante.
We just started with Mheshimiwa Peter here, and his constituency held one of the biggest watch party. That's one of them was in DC grounds, I remember. All right. So when you bring, what is the difference or similarities between sports and politics? Because Kenyans, we consume politics and sports at the same time in equal measure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they have a lot to do with each other. You know, politics generally is polarizing. It's very divisive and sometimes very toxic and very poisonous. But in times of sports, especially the kind of sports like the football that's going on right now, the African Nations Championship, brings the country together. With all the divisions, all the differences, once we have one team, you know, championing for Kenya, then you'll find that that's the time now we start talking about one Kenya, one nation, one flag, one anthem.
Yeah.
Our identity as a nation now comes out, that we are people of the same heritage, the same origin, and it really unifies the people against any external threat. And that's why you find that despite the recent political divisions and polarization, especially, you know, there's a lot of corruption going on. Recently, we had the Gen Z's protests. There was things about, you know, stealing of e-citizen, you know, funds, as was mentioned by Babu Owino a day or two ago. So all these things were really causing a lot of commotions in the country and a lot of divisions. But once this season of the football has started, Chan, then you can see that the country is coming together slowly. You know, when people were chanting before, this Ruto must go, chants. Now the chant is changing. People are now saying, you know, Kenya must win and all those unifying things. So certainly it really changes the environment and the direction that the country is taking, despite the fact that we also have election coming in 2 years. But sports is really, really one of the key unifying factors at every level, at the level of the community, at the level of, you know, the county, constituencies, go to the national, go to global. It is really the one thing that is for sure brings the communities together. And it also appeals to a lot of our young people who, in the case of Gen Zs, were on the streets trying to dissent and protest unemployment and all these things. But now it looks like, you know, once we have these common games for our country, it looks like we're all united.
Exactly.
The government, which they were dissenting against, the Gen Zs, and of course, our players are Gen Zs. You know, these are
actually most of them. Some of them are 19, 20, 21.
Yes, and so they can see that the government, the politicians, the leadership are rallying together with our young people.
I get that. Mheshimiwa Peter, you said that in as much as that is the thing, a majority, not a majority, the same people who watch football, who throng the Kasarani Stadium are the same voters that are always on the ballot in every electoral cycle.
You are very right. You know, we need to look at what is politics and who is a politician.
Exactly.
Because politics is carried out by politicians. A good politician will always rally people behind him. And you look at what are mechanisms of rallying people behind you. And one of those mechanisms is the sports. Sports rally or bring people together. We have seen many sportsmen coming as being president. Look at George Weah Opong.
Yeah.
Great sportsman in this world. And then because of that fame, people rallied behind him and he became the president. So it means that this politics can bring people together, unify people together, and then they have the same ideology. You know, politics is about ideology. It's about people's motives and concerns. So sports is a great factor in terms of the political development within a country.
Yes.
And when you do politics and the politicians, is about how can you bring people together, how can you support people. And you realize that just recently, when we have been having Chan, you have seen that a lot of youths have been going to support the Kenyan team because in sports is an industry. It is a way also of employing the youths. And I take this time to appeal to the president that he had promised these boys housing units. I would
At
wish
a place of their choice, location of their choice. Yeah.
If they won. But I would ask him not to renege and give these boys their housing units.
Yeah.
So that the upcoming players and other people can see that really sporting has an opportunity for the young people to get better in a society. Not just when they are playing, but even as they come. Now you have said that Wanyama is bringing is the ambassador here.
Yeah.
He's a millionaire by all standards. Through sports. We cannot deny the fact that he has been employed through sports. So we must encourage sports and politics together because sports bring people together. Politicians, when we go to, like myself, why I am here is because of sports.
Exactly.
I've been in sports for a long time. My fame is because of sporting activities. People got to know me a lot, not just as an educationist, but also as a sportsman.
Perhaps
and
for,
most important,
for people who do not know, which sports in particular? Personally, I know. But for my kinsmen in Homa Bay County, they want to know. Right?
You know, you will translate to them that Okimie Lekong, you know, it is people who tell you. But
yes.
I'm a sports administrator in many fields. Currently, I'm still the treasurer of Kenya Basketball Federation.
See that?
As we are speaking.
Yeah.
Even when I was elected, I didn't relinquish because the basketballers said I must continue supporting basketball in this country. I am also a football administrator for many years as a coach and an administrator. Netball, I know you would not imagine that men can play netball.
Right. it's a difficult game, for real.
Yeah, so during my time, I said I don't want to talk about my history. But of course, all of this Nairobi.
Very good.
I won the most number of trophies and winners. And of course, now I'm also into rugby a lot. I support a lot of rugby.
So we totally understand your background when it comes to sports and how politics is all about.
Yes.
I mean that is a very good one. And when you listen to that, Mheshimiwa, again, the number of people that you've seen passing through your hands, up to this particular point, you see them flourishing and you are able to interact with them as successful men and women of the society. From a political point of view, what do you think is the biggest contributor to them? I mean, the president also said that, you know, there's an incentive. I'll come back to you, Mheshimiwa, shortly. But the biggest incentive was to give them the affordable housing. There was that money effect, the promise and all that. Let's talk about motivation when it's come to sports. And even when it comes to politics, there is that aspect of motivation, both sides. Connect the two.
Well, you see there is the short-term gain, which is getting a little bit of money, the 1 million shillings that the president gives to the players. There is the housing that they were promised. But what that shows is that at the highest level in our country, we appreciate what our youth are doing in terms of sports. That we cherish them, that we mean supporting them means a lot to us, so that we show them the promises that we have made to them are actually being actualized. And despite the protests and the disillusionment about, youth and all that, now you can see that there is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel for our young people. And so ideally, what needs to happen is that leaders now must learn from CHAN, the African Nations Championship, in the sense that when His Excellency surprisingly showed up at the training place of Harambee Stars, and also several times he has worn the jersey and kicked the football, then that shows that these things really matter to us as a nation. It matters to us as leadership, and we care about our young people to have a future in sports and football, and any other area of employment. And so ideally, this cannot be separated from each other. It is something that we need to continue to build on and show a very good example. I think the highest time that Kenyans have ever experienced in terms of sports awareness. I mean, we have had sports all the years, but then this is the most, time that most Kenyans are sensitized about sports and football, because we are hosting it. We are right in the middle of it. Our team is doing very well. The president is involved. All the leaders are involved. It is becoming a serious narrative that at some point we will hit something at the global level, the same way we do with our runners and marathons. So this is extremely important for us. The other thing is that now that we can see what sports can do in terms of unifying the country, in terms of times when we really need this country to come together, sports is really doing it. Then what we need to do is that we have never had a serious project where any government at any level of the 48 governments, as we call, that has mainstreamed sports within their system. For example, county governments, where I come from, we sponsor tournaments, but that is not enough. We need to do now serious budgeting for sports, whatever form it takes. We need to establish academies at the county level, at the sub-county levels, at the national level, so that our youth have something to look up to, so that they can bring out their potential and talents without necessarily wasting them. Yes.
This is a question to all of you. What's the role of sports in diplomacy, Mheshimiwa?
Yeah, a lot, because diplomacy is about making people live together. It unites different countries or regions. So the sports is meant to bring people together.
For example, the East Africa community. The discussion between Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. Yes.
In fact, just last week, we had the East Africa Games. In fact, now East and Central Africa Games. This was created to bring the East Africa community together through sporting activities. There were so many countries, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, and even Cote d'Ivoire came to participate. We also sometimes have Sudan participating. And the essence of these sporting activities is to bring closer relationships amongst these countries through sports. Because a sportsman never gets annoyed with his opponent. After the game, you have seen they shake hands. In fact, if it is football, now it is a rule. You have seen rugby players, even after playing hard on each other. After the game, they have to say...
that was just a game.
That was just a game. It is meant to bring not just cohesion, but also to promote and enhance friendship. So I think sporting activities is a media that should be extensively used by countries and regions in terms of diplomatic relations. So it goes, sports and diplomacy go hand in hand. So I think this is one of the ways that wherein countries should be able to get involved so much. When you have, like Sudan, you have realized that they have had turmoil for a long time. But they have used sports, like now, Sudan, in basketball, they are the best in Africa. they have used this a lot to bring peace in their country. So we are saying that as a country, we need to invest a lot in sporting activities. Our federations need to be supported a lot, so that these federations, all of them, different people have different talent. It's not about football only.
Yeah.
It's not about rugby only or athletics. We have many other disciplines that each person or these young people will find where their talents are. We have cycling, we have rugby, we have boxing, we have athletics, we have tennis, lawn tennis, table, all these sporting activities. Federations, the government need to invest a lot in the federations. Of course, the government has been supporting the federation, but we need to budget more for these federations so that we can create job opportunities for young, because sports is an industry. So as Kenyan people, we will need to talk as parliamentarians to see whether we shift a lot of budgeting to also the sports.
That's a good point, Mheshimiwa, because legislation and policy now is a very important aspect of it.
Yeah. So we need to realign our mind in terms of policy making, geared towards supporting the sports and activities. Just as we support education, like this year the budget for education was 702 billion. We also need to look at the budget for sports.
That's a good point.
And raise it to another level, so that now that we have CBC, we have pathways. One of the pathways is about sports. And how do we bring this into our system that develop the economy that we want to have? So if we have a pathway of sport, then we need also to put a real budget for those who complete the education and they graduate to either academies or other regions. So we must increase the budgetary allocation during our budget process to sports. So that as a country, if we are serious in developing sport, go to Brazil, what their earnings, the biggest gains they get is sports when you go to Brazil and many other countries.
Because it's a deliberate move by the government.
Yes, it's a deliberate move by the government. There are people who don't even go to school. Do you know where Ronaldo went to school?
Yes, we don't have
you don't know. Because he is basically a sports person.
Yes.
And has succeeded in sporting activities. One of the richest people in this world. One of them, because through sports. So we are saying that Kenya, we must make deliberate efforts as a country to ensure that we have budgetary allocation that will support sporting activities just the way we are supporting education.
Allow me to give an assignment. When you resume after recess, why don't you propose that on the floor of the House? DG, don't you think that's a good idea?
Good point.
Exactly.
Good
so
point.
that noose is tightened perfectly well.
Yes.
Talk about politics and diplomacy as well.
Absolutely. I think Mheshimiwa has a very good point in the sense, and I have said it before, in the sense that we must be very deliberate about budgeting for sports at every level, county level, national government. We must fund sports the same way we fund healthcare, the same way we fund education, because it has such a serious impact. Globally, if you look at America, some of the richest people, youngest, under 30, are people who are from sports, basketballers.
NBAs.
In the NBAs, all those people. So there is no reason why we can't do that. And we have the talent, we have the potential. The other thing about politics and diplomacy is that Kenya is known globally because of marathoners from Rift Valley. The way people know Kenyan flag, when they see anywhere across the world, those flags were not branded or taught by ambassadors. Those flags were taught and known through our sportsmen and women, our young girls and our young boys who are sporting across the world in various marathons. So that itself shows that actually...
Even you look a marathon.
Yes.
When you think you are a marathon.
Yes. So when I was in the US...
It's never too late, Mheshimiwa. It's never too late.
No, it's not even too late. But I am actually one, because when I was a student in the US, and I tell them I'm from Kenya, the first thing they think is that, I am a sportsman. I mean, out there, they don't know there is Somali, there is Kalenjin, there is Kikuyu. All they know, you are a Kenyan and you are a marathoner, you are a runner. And so these people have really sold and branded this country much better than diplomacy or any kind of ambassador would do. And I think that is now where the juxtaposition of sports and diplomacy, sports and peace, sports and community building and community cohesion. This is the one thing that we have failed as a country to invest in properly. And I think it's never too late, and we can do it.
It's never too late.
Yes.
Gentlemen, let's talk about the sports tourism that we've seen. I mean, Chan is a clear example. People have been talking about, see, the whole renovation of Kasarani and Nyayo Stadium. We have never seen Kasarani look that beautiful before. But let's talk about the tourism in itself. Everybody's talking about Chan, people are talking about Kenya, Kasarani, and all that. Let's talk about that, Mheshimiwa, and how we as a nation, not as a government, as a nation, we can harness that tourism itself. We have got Masai Mara, but how do we harness this sports to be a tourism attraction independently?
Now, Kenyans, many Kenyans, I realized that more than half of the people who went to Kasarani had never even stepped in Kasarani before.
True.
And when they entered that field, they never imagined that Kenya could have such kind of a facility in this country. That is also even a local tourism.
It's
because
true, the amount of money that was collected,
the amount of money, the revenue that was collected. I have so many people like that I supported to go and watch football, and they had never gone to Kasarani. But from now onwards, they have said they will never miss such kind of events. And you see, when you have good sporting facilities, some people would just come to Kenya just to see our facility in terms of sport. And during Chan tournament, people travel even from US to come and watch this Chan tournament. Many people travel even from our neighboring countries to come and watch our teams play. We had the DRC. Many people travel from DRC when we were playing to come and watch their team play. Not forgetting that when we played the Morocco, all the Arabs who were here and who were coming, they traveled to come. Some came from Marrakech to come and watch their team. This is also tourism. We need to harness this and make Kenya a center as a tourist attraction in terms of sporting activities. Do you know that the marathoners who compete with ours, like the Ethiopians, they train in Kenya? They come and train in Rift Valley.
In Rift Valley, in Iten and all that.
In Iten and all that. And they believe because Kenyans have been winning, there must be other factors that favor Kenya during training. So in terms of tourism, they bring foreigners in our country to come and train. This is the tourism we are talking about. When we develop our football, many people will come and train in this country. Even during the AFCON, you will find that because now we have facilities, instead of training in other countries, they will rather come here, even for 2 months, to train in our country, because already we have good facilities for training. Now we are putting up Talanta in our constituency. It's one of the best.
Your constituency?
Yeah, I was just being moderate.
You need to visit that place.
Absolutely.
Oh,
goodness. So it's one of the best stadiums being done now in this country.
Wow.
And when it is finished, many teams would rather come and use that facilities for training. But we have also other facilities in other regions. I was in Kakamega. I went and saw Buhungu Stadium. It has a turf now. It was just done by the governor the other time. It is also a good facility. When you go to Bungoma, we have good facilities. You go to Central, we have good facilities. I think we are reaching a time that all the governors should be told that they must develop sporting facility in all the counties.
In all the counties.
In all the counties. And good facilities, not just facilities. Good facilities, because sports now is a devolved function to the counties. And we have the deputy governor here. We would want a time that we come to Mandera and get a good stadium so that people can come and train. Like now, if we're going to play in Ethiopia and we have the same altitude, then a team would rather go and train in Mandera
than cross over.
And cross over. if we develop those facilities, we are going to increase tourism, both local and international tourism. So I think it's incumbent upon the government that we insist on certain basic structural requirement in terms of sport development that will lead this country to another level. When I visit UK, I am a frequent visitor, even before I became a member of parliament.
Do you say?
I have to go and watch Arsenal Stadium. I have to go and watch Manchester Stadium, Fulham, Brentford, and you see the kind of facilities that are there. And sometimes you attend a training session, you see the kind of facilities they have. That enhances their performance.
Absolutely.
So I think that is the way the Kenyans, we are supposed to do about tourism.
Okay.
We increase it.
I want to take a break. And we come back, let's still talk about that, Mheshimiwa. He's touched a very important role. Rotation.
Yes.
All right. You go to county X, Y, Z, and have the facilities tested and all that. Bukuku Stadium is a clear example. We have got other stadiums in different counties across the country.
Even Homa Bay now, they call it Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
I never want to talk about that.
They say everything goes to Homa Bay.
Yes.
We also want to go to Mandera and see what you have there. I mean, devolved function coming there. I'll talk about that. And then now the aspect of policy.
Yeah.
And it seems that sports and politics, it's a coin with two sides.
Both sides, yes.
Both sides. Let's talk about that. Mheshimiwa, Victor Wanyama is your former student.
Very well. Even the brother Mariga.
You see?
Even the brother Sylvester. Even the sister Mercy.
Your students are going to be here shortly.
They were all my sisters. It's a great family.
Yes.
Great, talented family. But I think they have taken both after the mother and the father. The mother was a great netballer in this country of Victor.
Sports runs the family.
Yeah. Okay. But the father played for FC for 17 years as a dangerous left winger and played for national team for 11 straight years. So this is one of the greatest wingers that we ever had at that time was Wanyama. I watched him play when I was very, very young. So
and here, you also taught the son, and the son will be here shortly. I don't know how it feels as a teacher.
Great player.
Great player. Let's take a quick break. I want to serve you tea, gentlemen. Wanaume tunapiga story tukikunywa chai. See that what it means? Very well. We'll be right back shortly. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. So in not too long from now, we'll see that procession, I beg your pardon, all the way from the main gate coming into our studios here for that trophy. It's the first of a kind. I mean, a few of us will be privileged to get closer to it. I think that will be the closest that we will be. That's the beauty about it. So, but before then, let's talk about this, Mheshimiwa. When you look at sports generally, it seems that politics and sports are just two sides of the same coin. I mean, there is no difference then.
Very little.
Yeah.
Very little. Because one drives the other, and they both drive each other. So essentially what we're talking about is that politics, as I have said earlier, is the one machine that kind of divides the country, in different ways. In our case, in Kenya, we are divided into ethnic groups, into regions, into all these other things. But once we talk about sports, the like of the one that's going on right now, Chan, then you can see that this country is really going to rally under one flag, under one national anthem, and under one, nation. And the most important part, the people on which sports has an effect and impact on is the largest population, which is the young people. Really, that is the people that now, the group, the category of our people and our citizens where sports rightfully has the highest impact and where we need now to give hope and courage and motivation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about devolution, and it's devolved. It's a no-brainer that when devolution was started, that aspect was supposed to be closer to the people. And what we can see right now across the country, nurturing of talent, development of different stadium and facilities across the counties, should be one of those things, one of the key drivers to have sports nurtured from that young age. Mheshimiwa here said that it's one of the pathways, as in our CBC curriculum. But we have got so many counties still struggling to come up with these sports stadia, the facilities in these counties. What do you think can be done? Of course, I know there is that financial constraint, also revenue, etc., etc.
Absolutely. So Victor, you said it very correctly. For us to be able to do this, to use sports as a unifying factor, and the fact that sports is devolved, we need a very, as I said earlier, a very serious budget, deliberate, targeted budget, the same way we budget for various departments and ministries, like the education, like, Ministry of Health and Water. And what that does is that really it is part of the economic empowerment that our country needs. I hope you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The kind of economic empowerment we need, especially for the younger people, we must seek it within sports. It's not the formal employment, formal job that we are trying to encourage. As far as the county is concerned, of course, our budget generally is not sufficient to put together major infrastructure, but at least we can begin to put something basic together for sports infrastructure.
Okay.
In our case, for example, we have a stadium. We have a couple of stadiums, in sub-counties. We have some of them, and then we have a major one in Mandera town, the same way we have some in Homa Bay and all that stuff. But not sufficient. It needs to be expanded. And what that does is that it's not just enough to have a stadium where you will have, national events or things like that. You need other infrastructure around the stadium. You need hotels, you need restaurants, you need other facilities, which we don't have. So really the way we are looking at sports is not only giving hope and bringing people together, but it also inspires and encourages economic growth. It inspires investment. This is how we should look at it. Because the money that the government or the budget that the government is putting into sports should be looked at as a driver of investment from the private sector. So if the government puts in a very serious infrastructure, then naturally other facilities will come through.
Okay.
And so ideally, what we are saying is that sports has many, many benefits, not just unifying, but economically it has a lot of benefits, rallying the youth, giving hope, incentives and motivations. These are all the major benefits. And in terms of peace, I think it is one of the best approaches that we can use in terms of bringing people together.
Very good. I'm told that the procession is already within the vicinity of the broadcasting house. Perhaps you can just take a look at that. There you have it. That must be Sikuti dancers, or can we have the audio, please? It must be Sikuti dancers or something to do with the... Yeah, this is Sikuti. These are Sikuti dancers. Very good. What a moment to behold. I mean, just having this particular silverware here with us.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
What did you do to become the main broadcasting house for this Chad tournament that has put you at another level compared to other broadcasting house media houses?
Can I say it's favor or we are just being the national broadcaster? I think it's also important to give it back to the people, the facilities that we have. None compared to that. And I mean, look at the whole of this, the investment that KBC, Chaniko KBC, it's been all over, uninterrupted, all through. So we deserve that right.
I am told, although without evidential proof, that you still have the best facilities compared to all other media houses.
You are absolutely right.
Is it
absolutely right, yes.
Oh.
We reached some places where none of the stations can easily broadcast, even across our borders.
Yes.
We can do that freely. And thanks to the government. Thanks to Parliament.
That brings me back to when I was a young,
That is true.
pastor. When I was growing, I only knew KBC.
Baba and Mama.
Baba and Mama.
That was the only TV channel anyway.
Yes.
Back then.
And gentlemen, the amount of money that is going to be won in this tournament is huge, and that brings the aspect of the financial bit of it. It's in itself is an economy. Sports is an economy. So we are just getting the live feed shortly.
Yes.
That is just right inside the KBC compound. The trophy will be marching into the studio shortly, but then the fanfare out there. I mean, it's quite common that when there is something good of this kind, you know, song and dance is...
yes,
complement.
Song and dance is another form of sports.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's come back to studio and talk about this. Thank you very much. So shortly we'll have that. My colleague Wahomi on the other side to talk about with this trophy in studio. So let's talk about the economic aspect of it. Mheshimiwa, the budgets that the government should put into sport should be deliberate, not
Absolutely.
devolved. All right, and we've given you an assignment. DG will
Yes,
follow this.
yes.
Mheshimiwa, you can have a proposal table in Parliament so that there is a deliberate and the same way education, you correctly put it, there is a predictable amount and a budget for it. We saw the players being given an incentive during the match. But what if there is a kitty somewhere that is purely there and locked, that when there is a tournament like this one, then it's easy to access these funds?
You know, the last time in the National Assembly, when we had a small standoff with the governors in terms of allocation of finances, they had wanted that maybe they are given 465 billion, but we brought it to 415. If they were to come now, me as a person, and tell us that this money that we want to raise for the governors will go to sports completely, I would be the first one to propose that. So long as there is proper and best utilization of finances in terms of promotion of sports in the counties, because it is a devolved function. So we need to be very deliberate. We need to be deliberate in terms of the budget allocations for sports in those counties. And not only that, we need to nurture the talents from the counties. We need to put to test these governors. How many academies have they put up in their counties?
Absolutely.
They need to put academies, sports academies. They need to tap on all the players, the players who have experience, those who have retired, but they know what sports is all about. They need to have training centers for sports personnel, so that we need to have each county producing a formidable team in this country, so that they have their support base from a county. Because supporting a team is not something that a county cannot take up. I have seen certain teams from other counties that are not able to honor their matches because of lack of funds. I believe that each county should have a team to support in the National League, but they need to strategize and start from the academies down level. They need to have, like now in basketball, just to say, today we have a camp for under 16 going to play, like now in AFCON, if you compare it to football. So we call it Afro Basket. So when we start with under 16 at the national level, this is a developmental stage. You will develop these players under 16, under 17, under 18. By the time they reach under 21, they are quite mature players. You know, I didn't want to boast here.
Please don't.
That the player also who scored against Morocco and against Zambia was also my student.
DJ, what are we doing with our lives?
In Dagoretti. So
very good.
Absolutely.
So
that's good.
What we need to do is to nurture these players, give them opportunity, and give them favorable environment to operate as a country. This should start from the county level, because now the MPs, the sport fund was removed from the MPs because it is a devolved function. So all the sporting activities now have been taken to the counties. So like the deputy governor is here, they need to account to us what they are doing with this sports money. But if it is not enough, they need to ask us, the National Assembly, that we need to add some of the money.
That's very true.
In terms of creating job opportunities, sport is an industry. If it were to be brought in Parliament that this money that we need will basically go to promoting sporting activities, most of the MPs will approve of this. And the good thing is that the chairman of the sports in Parliament was also a captain for Kenya for 15 years.
Yeah.
That is Wanyama. He's a great volleyballer. And he understands what sporting activity is. So if some of these policies were well structured in a manner that is likely to support our youth, who are we as the...
But it's never too late to restructure those policies.
That is what we are
It's not
saying.
so late.
It is never late. So if this was to be done, I think the National Assembly will approve this.
Yeah.
So I believe that as Kenyans, we need to take more interest in sports.
There's a time we're waiting for Mheshimiwa. Let me just cut you short. I'm told that the trophy is already here. Victor Wanyama, who is an ambassador. We have got 3 ambassadors. That is Dennis Onyango of Uganda and Mrisho Ngasa of Tanzania, and of course Victor Wanyama of Kenya, who were the 3 ambassadors during the revelation of the trophy. Already we have the trophy. Director, perhaps you can just get that shot. There you go. All right, the trophy is here under police escort.
Wow.
Under police escort, and of course it's some serious business.
Yeah.
Some serious business. This is not just any other local trophy. That it deserves a lot of protection.
Is it golden? Is it... I wish you could touch it.
It has to be.
It has to have some value.
It has to.
It has to have some value, and this is something that I think, gentlemen...
But it is symbolic, you know.
It is.
It is symbolic.
It is.